I was once taking pictures like this, but dude, it's 2024, man. This was a trend like 8 years ago. Who let the 14-year-olds spec this car? How does a dealership even allow people to spec cars like this? This is a pretty cool shot. Probably doesn't need to be portrait, so we can crop it in. I like it. You've exposed for the highlights here. It's very dark surroundings. Looks a little bit... What do we even got? What do we got going on here? What are we selling? You always gotta love these random little independent stands. You gotta love the artwork on them. Like, let's make it bright orange, and then we'll make the artwork. We'll have whatever that is, little hamburger. It's literally just like the spit as well, just cropped out. Whatever that is, and whatever that is again, like literally just copied over. Straight away, we'll go into our red channel here, get a bit of the greens going. I even just want to see if we can make this look a little bit hazy here. Get our brush tool out, get some clarity out, get some dehaze out, bump up those highlights. A little bit of fade going here. Bring up the highlights in our channel here. Oh, this orange is really not that fun to edit. Can definitely bring some yellows out of the image here. Never decide if the image is straight or not. Bring some more clarity out of our whole image here. Plus we have our selection with a lot of clarity out as well. Let's see what happens if we just play with our white balance a bit. I don't want to make it too blue, just a little bit, just a little bit. Get a few of those dark greens down as well. Okay, there's your before, after. Sick car, great location. I know where this is shot actually, I love this area. And we've got this line back here which splits the different colors of the ground, and the spoiler has gone straight through it. We've also haven't aligned it properly with the middle here. We needed to have the car a bit further down because I know exactly where you're shooting here. So just doing small little adjustments like that, when you're on the shoot, taking the actual picture, your edit's gonna come together a lot more cohesively because you've taken in consideration for all these little details in your shot. Bring some exposure here, darken that there. Bit of dark blue in the shadow look like. Lambos always look good because they have so many sharp edges. It actually looks good to accentuate that a bit more with some clarity. Radial filter on the top part here does just a little bit of exposure from the top to crush those blacks a little bit more. Bring some highlights up there. In our blue channel, I'm gonna bring that up ever so slightly. Maybe actually take some contrast out. Okay, hit Y on my keyboard. That green's actually pretty good. Bring it across to Photoshop. Always make a new layer. It's a good habit to get into. Let's see if we can't just start removing these things. Remove. Just gonna go around with the Band-Aid tool and I'm gonna clean up all these little dots here. All these little oil leaks, water spots from air conditionings. Before, after. So even cleaning up those spots, starting to get a really clean picture here. Now let's go in. Let's see if we can't center this line here. Gonna take the whole thing, pen tool, selection, and gimme. Make it a new layer. What I'm even gonna do before we do that, jump into your crop tool, Command R, get your ruler up, drag one across. So we're centered in a line here. We need to bring the whole car a little bit more centered here. I might even warp it a little bit so we know we have it perfectly centered. From the fin to the back here, the badge in the middle. Grab our line here, clone stamp tool out. And last but not least, let's see if we can take this out. I want to see what happens if we selection. I wonder how well Phil's gonna do here. Good enough for this video. We've cleaned the image up a lot here. Only thing that's still annoying me is this line back here, but not a whole lot we can do about that. That is really just a photography L. Really important just to focus on the details there. It's gonna make a huge difference. But still, great shot, even better car. What is going on here? Dude, were you dropped on your head? Why is this in the frame? I'm not even looking at the car. I'm just looking at this giant block here. It doesn't even look like there's another one of these blocks. Oh no, they're over there. Why, dude? Why would you? Out of everywhere in the car park you could have shot, you decide to have this in your frame. And the shot's a little bit blurry. It's not even perfectly in focus. Bro, what are these settings? 1/10 of a second, f2, ISO 100. You're shooting on Sony as well. You don't even need to be shooting at such low shutter speed with such low ISO. Yeah, dude, during the day, ISO 100, 200, that's fine. At nighttime, you could easily have gone to a 400 or 500 ISO and still gotten away with it. Allowed you to bump up your shutter speed a bit more, and then your photo would have been a lot sharper. Shooting on burst mode as well is also a great tip. I shoot all of my photos, especially nighttime at handheld. If I take 10 photos of the same composition, Maybe the first one and the last one will be shaky. Somewhere in the middle, 9 times out of 10, I have a perfectly sharp image. I feel like this image had a lot of potential here. The composition's not too bad. You've got nice and low to the ground here, which I like. Don't mind the sunset happening. The sky's pretty moody. See, you're from the Netherlands. Lots of Pupiraika. Obviously, we have this van in the back here carrying the car, which tells me that you're at a track day. I'm sure the owner would be very appreciative and grateful if he found out that you were actually looking for him, or you went up to him and said, hey, I love your car. Can I take some pictures of it? Can we move it over here a little bit? Just so you're away from this fence line. And then you would have been able to ask him to put the headlights on, and it just would have been a totally different shoot. So, and then on top of that, you may even have a contact for next time you want to go out and take some pictures. Who knows where it can lead to? Shadows up here. Maybe I'll just crop it in. Also, love that it's landscape. Well done. I wonder if I can actually turn on the lights without it looking too artificial. Oh, a little tip as well, to get straight lines in your brush tool, make an adjustment. So click somewhere, hold down shift, and then go to your next point where you want it to be and click there, and it's gonna make a perfectly straight line. Don't know how well this is gonna work, but I think I might even need to make a second mask for this side. I don't know if that actually looks legit. I think I'm gonna bring up a lot of fade in this image, something like that. My highlights down a bit. Now let's try and get a really moody color going here. I think a really small adjustment that I really like to make is in the color grading wheel here on the highlights section, and just bringing the luminance up. Just gives a little bit of an extra boost, a little bit of an extra oomph. Definitely want the balance to be more in the oranges. Bring the exposure down a bit. Highlights up a bit more. Starting to look pretty moody. Goddamn headlights. So botchy. Bro, I'm over here like roasting your pictures, and then everyone's gonna be roasting me. My fake headlight skills. Let's bring a little bit of texture up, tiny little bit of clarity, take a bit of vibrance out. It's so nice editing a car that doesn't have a color to it. When you're editing the photo, you don't have to worry about affecting the car's color too much, which is nice. What happens if we get a bit more mood out of the sky here? I feel like a radial filter over the center of the car here, just to bring up a few more shadows. And then let's try a graduated filter from the bottom. Just darken the ground just a little bit. Love to see what it does if we invert that. What happens if we just darken everything except for the car? No, that's pissing me off. We're gonna take out this number plate. Make a new layer. We're gonna see what AI does. Remove. Wow, that does a fantastic job. That is incredible. I'm also just gonna bring out my clone stamp over here and see if we can't just get rid of this line. Oh, beautiful. Before, after. I'm not gonna be able to fix this. Shooting on Canon in a dark space. Good luck. When you guys send me some photos in, I like to have a little bit of a stalk. Dude, you have some incredible pictures here. Just with the mood, the lighting. I love the Peaky Blinders one you did as well. That's really sick. You have a really good understanding of color grading, lighting. I get why you probably can't send me some of these pictures. I don't even know if I can even show half of these pictures, but you have a really interesting style here. I mean, you have some incredible pictures, dude. You could have sent me so many different photos, but then you decide to send me this. Feel a bit robbed, if I'm honest, you know? I feel like I'm back in Turkey. Fucking hell. This photo could have had so much more potential if it was shot landscape. I mean, we've got more footpath than trees in this photo. So if we just took a little bit of a step to the left, so we were centered with this part of the pathway, waited for this person to sort of walk around so he was more centered in the frame, and you shot it landscape, you would have had a lot more trees, which would have shown a lot more scale in your picture. I like how you've also scraped the metadata off this as well. So we can't see what you're shooting. I know you're shooting Sony though, so 1 point for that. If you do like shooting this sort of stuff, I sell presets that do complement this sort of style. So if you want to get some Lightroom presets, try some new styles out, I do have a bunch of different packs. So I'll leave them linked down in the description. We're gonna bring some exposure down, highlights up, radial filter from this section, even dehaze it a little bit more. We're gonna have highlights up a bit more. And this sort of dark, moody color grading that I'm about to go into works really well when you have a nice diffused light source here. Bring the shadows down a bit more. Go into our red channel of our tone curve and then also complement it with a bit of the yellow. So with the yellow and the aqua, we're making more of that green look. A little bit of saturation can come in. I think it's yellow or orange. Maybe it's the reds here. Maybe it's just a mix of all of them along the ground here. We want to take a little bit of that out. In our color mixer, bring up the luminance a little bit of our blues here. Maybe the aquas as well. Before, after. Who let the 14-year-old spec this car? We got orange accents, blue car, red calipers, black wheels. How does a dealership even allow people to spec cars like this? This belongs on worst spec. Shot this landscape though, very nice. Yeah, the boat ramp and the Aston Martin, they don't really complement each other, especially with the red bridge as well. Like what, are you trying to complement these brake calipers? Even this bridge is worse spec. I mean, what the fuck's going on there, to be honest? I mean, what is going on here? Like, I'm no civil engineer. Why does the bridge have to be designed like that? It looks disgusting. There's not a whole lot of things in this image that are really complementing each other. That car is so ugly, man.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Is this the second or third yes go? I swear to God, every time I do one of these videos, I have a Koenigsegg in it. I mean, aren't there only like 5 of these or something in the world? How is everyone getting to shoot a yes go? Like, what is this? Where? Okay, first of all, where's my invite? Secondly, you're in the snow, okay? Last time we had a yes go in the rain, and now you've one-upped him and had it in the snow. To be completely honest, the car is really carrying the image here. Just like how all of my mates carry me when I play COD with them.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
But yeah, the composition is just a bit meh. Like, it could be anywhere. This could be shot at a parking lot. It could be shot at a fuel station. It could be just even at the dealership, you know? Like, there's not a lot going on here. But you do have the element of snow. And I mean, to be honest, whoever owns this Koenigsegg, if they've already decided that we're gonna bring the car out in the snow, you may as well drift it. How cool would it have been if you actually got shots of the car in action, kicking up some snow? So, I just checked Koenigsegg's Instagram. And turns out they did drift the car in the snow. So, where the fuck are the pictures of that? Huh? It actually gets worse because I actually went and checked out your Instagram and you posted this reel of the car drifting around you. So why didn't you just take a picture of that? Put your phone down, pick your camera up, and shoot that next time, if there will even be a next time. Like, I feel like that is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And you blew it.
My disappointment is immeasurable. And my day is ruined.
What is it, like a Bentley? It's a Rolls Royce. Slammed and bagged. This has just got to be the UK. I already know. Only British people could afford to do something like this. Is slam and bag a Rolls Royce. Rolls Royce, it's a domestic car in England. It's like their Commodore. This is just a VE Commodore, but British. That's all I'm seeing right now. Because you've modified it like a VE Commodore. Great idea with the puddle going on here. Car could have come a little bit more forward and maybe a bit more of an angle. So that way you could have got just a nice straight line. Got a light over here. It's, you know, is it in the frame or is it out of the frame? You know, you got to pick one. You can't just have it half in. It's getting moodified. We're going to make it moody. Let's bring some clarity up here. Might just leave the shadows. Actually, bring some contrast out from now. Dive pretty deep in the tone curve here. We don't really do this. We sort of make points in it. Shit joke. I'm going to bring my shadows down, generous amount. Copy the settings, paste, paste. This is obviously looking not great right now because we have a lot of unnecessary purple in the image. So definitely bring some of those out and even some of our blues as well. We'll even drop the exposure a little bit. Fuck, this is a hard picture edit, man. I'm going to paint my mask over just the main details of the car here. And I'm going to bring my texture up and clarity up. Boop, 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 boop. I don't like it. Next. Wow. This is an incredible photo. Beautifully exposed. A Amazing car, sick conditions, sick location. Thank you for sending this in. That is amazing. Oh, it's a little bit out. No. Oh well, good enough for Instagram. Let's try and enhance. What if a super resolution? Doesn't really help it. I'm guessing this was a Lamborghini event. That's why they put these plates on it. Yeah, they probably were like, yeah, we're definitely not going to drift it. But fuck. Imagine if you could just be like, just a little drift for me. That would just be so sick, don't you think? Let's try to work with that sunset a bit. Bring some saturation up, highlights up. We'll just straighten the image a little bit here. Oranges and purples going. So I'm just going to adjust the white balance a little bit here. You can definitely have a pretty aggressive tone curve. Bring out some texture with the snow. I'll just start making an S curve here with my channels. Black wheels, man. Never been a fan. Never will be a fan. Sorry, we're gonna start from the start actually. Definitely way too orange. Yeah, it's definitely my tone curve. Okay, I'm gonna reset. I'm gonna make a new S curve here with more contrast at the bottom. Something that actually plays into more of like the aqua. Bring a bit more contrast in, more texture up. Radial filter from this side just to brighten up the right side of the image here. Shadows down here. Gonna go a bit more aqua. Highlights can be red, and we're just gonna boost it all here a little bit as well. Wow, that's looking amazing. What happens if we actually bring the exposure down a bit more? Oh, that's moody. Wow, what an image. Maybe I've gone a little bit too hard on the blue here. Before, after. That is an amazing picture. Phenomenal, actually. Couldn't have done it better myself, mate. Well done. Oh. I actually have this mask somewhere. I was once taking pictures like this, but dude, it's 2024, man. This was a trend like 8 years ago. With the lens ball as well, that was even older. You can't be doing shit like this anymore. It's not a trend. You know what the photography trend is nowadays? Just make your photo as blurry as possible. Just literally half a second shutter and just... That's what the kids are doing nowadays. But I can't really talk. I used to do this shit as well. You may as well just start stacking it in. See how many trends you can put into one picture. Get the mask out, get the lens ball, get the flare going, the smoke bomb. Give it a little shake as well. And another point for confidence to stand there and look like that in the streets. I couldn't do that anymore. And it's shot on Nikon just to top it off. Where is this purple coming from? This white balance is all over the place. Oh my God. I think let's start off with a denoise. Enhance. 1/5 of a second. If that's handheld at 1/5 of a second, that's incredible. I actually don't mind the portrait shot here. Yeah. Okay, I'll try my best. I will try my absolute best here. So I'm gonna crop it in quite a lot, as you just saw, because there was a lot of unnecessary space down here we just did not need. Okay, rule of third, guys, rule of third. It's like, you learn that in school. Come on. Let's just see if we can even just fix this white balance from now. Let's start it there, okay? Let's bring some greens out. Oh God. Let's try a little bit of fade actually. And the ye old faithful. What are the yellows? Yeah, if we bring some yellows out maybe. Whoa, far out. I think we're just gonna, you know what? I might just have to try and get this image back to normal. That's like the challenge here. Oh, this is very difficult. Okay, maybe brush tool. Let's try and bring some saturation out, clarity up. I mean, if that was the original and that's what I've got it to, I think that's actually respectable. How is it so blue from raw? I don't understand. Look, man. I think I'm just gonna have to cut my losses on this one. You had everything you needed. You were given the ball, but you dropped it. Sorry, you've dropped it. This photo doesn't need to be portrait. It just doesn't. And I understand it's for Instagram, it's for Reels, it's for whatever, but just there's plenty of other pictures that could work portrait. This is not one of them. And maybe you were shooting portrait because you wanted to get the moon in. But it's only just made it in. He's like,
oh, please don't forget about me up here.
No, it may as well not be in. And that's really annoying as well. Go to crop it landscape and it still doesn't get the bridge in. Another thing as well is we have this massive ship over here. That's really getting in the way of your image. While you're waiting for the ship to pass, and we're gonna wait to get this hero shot happening here, we could have taken photos of the grill with the badge, could have taken photos of the wheels, black wheels. Oop. We could have just taken a few different shots, some close-up sort of stuff. We have so much room on this side, like literally from where the photo ends right here to where the front bumper is compared to the back of the car. There's not much room there compared to where the image is ending versus the back of the car. We want to make sure that's even. If you're going to have this much room on that side, it needs to be the same here. Wow. Full screen that for a second. Holy shit. That is incredible. Is this Iceland? That does not look very warm. You can already tell. That just looks like it's freezing wherever you are. Your subject looks very uncomfortable. Interesting choice of settings. 1/80th of a second, 2.8, ISO 200. You've still got a fair amount of light here. We could have gone an ISO 400, even up to an 800 to be honest, and increased your shutter so you got a really sharp picture, especially of your subject here. It would have been better if they had a nicer stance to them instead of just looking like they shut themselves. That's honestly what I look like after a few beers and eating a kebab and I'm racing to the toilet. That's what I look like. Gonna bring some shadows up, play into those highlights here. I wonder if it's possible to make the Blade Runner look here. I don't know if this is gonna work, bear with me. But to get that look, you need to get the right amount of orange. It's not working. I already know it's not working out. Definitely some clarity up. Let's try and just do a slight S-curve here. Paste that. Some of those highlights down. I really just want that icy edit. See if we can just bring some of those highlights down because we don't want to blow them out. This is something I could see Apple using as one of their wallpapers. And we'll see if we can just boost the saturation a little bit of our subject here. And that's gonna go. That's really annoying me. Maybe a bit more clarity could come out. Ooh, yeah, we bring the greens down, just really get it icy. Think our subject is nice and centered in the frame there, and our horizon is straight. Maybe some exposure can come down even more, actually. Actually, maybe one more graduated filter from the bottom here, so we still have some shadows, and then we can bring down the exposure. You just want to make really minimal adjustments. We don't need to go overboard with this. Yeah, maybe our subject needs to be way brighter. Ah, it looks too fake now. Okay, there we have the before and the after. That's all I have. Thanks for sending your pictures in, and I'll see you in the next one.